Hello! Welcome back to Drunk Storytime with Quefish. I'm gonna read my own stories for once. I apologize again about the hair. I'm slowly working my way through the Kikkoman plum wine. Still not happy about it. Alright, so I'm gonna do, I think, 3 little quickie short things that I've written. They all come out of the When an Angel and a Demon Get Silly series. Okay. Anywhere from mature to teen to explicit. So, first one is called, we'll start with this one. We'll start with the slightly less explicit one. A split-second decision. A silly conversation after sexy time. 1 year, 3 months, 3 weeks, 4 days, 17 hours, 6 minutes, 29 seconds after the decision to become physically intimate. Aziraphale sat back on his heels, a smug crinkle around his eyes, lightly wiping his lips with a cloth. He smiled up at Crowley, who looked dazed with a blissed-out grin. Hot damn, Angel. You give a mean blowjob. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it, my dear, but such a crude name for it. If you please. Wait, was this? I'd much prefer. No. If you called it oral, how about oral? Fellatio. Aziraphale gave a self-satisfied wiggle as he smirked at the cringing demon. Crowley flopped back on the bed, having worked himself up to a sitting position while begging the angel. How long have you been waiting to make that pun? How many times have you done this, hoping for that opportunity? Aziraphale checked the clock and thought for a moment. Well, ever since hearing the word, I've always thought it would be clever and amusing. Thinking of it when giving out my human alias at the 100 Guineas Club always made me smile and giggle a bit. But if you're looking for specifics as to when I decided to attempt the pun myself, 1 year, 3 months, 3 weeks, 4 days, 17 hours, 6 minutes, and 28 seconds. That literally came to me as I was driving home after taking my kids to school a few weeks ago. And the word came through, and then the rest of it just kind of wrote itself. So I both apologize and apologize for nothing. All right, so, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Clickety click. Okay, so next one is The Joke's on You. Aziraphale has told one too many bad jokes and must pay the price. Word, Angel? What for, dear? You have told your last terrible joke. You are an angel who needs to be punished. Oh, I see. The angel in question thought a moment. Banana. Banana? The angel nodded and the demon nodded back. Very well. He snapped his fingers and watched as the angel was divested of his clothing. The hangers in the wardrobe rattled as they were filled. Crowley eyed Aziraphale, seeing that he was already very physically interested, his cock twitching and a small smirk on his face. Spanking first, I think. The demon swooped his arm in the direction of the desk and moved aside, waiting for Aziraphale to assume the position. He took in the rosy, pale skin of Aziraphale's plush bottom as he stepped closer. 10. Then we'll give your mouth something better to do than bad jokes. I'll be enjoying your delicious ass last. Aziraphale shuddered slightly, a shiver of desire shooting down his spine. He gave a wiggle as Crowley's hand smoothed over his skin before giving a light scratch, then a whoosh of air as the demon cracked his hand across his backside. The angel gasped and whimpered before settling his forearm on his arms and settled for the rest. Well, that's a bad sentence. I should rewrite that. The final smack landed, and Crowley admired the pink and red prints on his angel. He stepped back and slouched onto the sofa, pulling his cock out and beginning to stroke. "Come on over. I want to feel your lips on me." Aziraphale moved to Crowley and dropped to his knees gracefully. He opened his mouth and leaned closer, waiting for Crowley to take his curls in hand and move him where he wanted. Crowley continued stroking himself, twitching at the view of his lover waiting, tongue out, to taste him. Aziraphale fidgeted as Crowley smiled and finally guided him down, enjoying the warmth of Aziraphale's mouth as he firmly sucked on him. He hissed a breath in as the angel swizzled his tongue back and forth. Crowley gripped him harder and began moving into him, his hips flexing up, deeper into his mouth before pulling him off. "Back against the desk, Angel." Aziraphale got to his feet and returned to the desk, bending over. He heard a snap and felt himself magically lubricated. He looked over his shoulder with a pout. "Slow, playful foreplay is for good angels, not angels being punished." Aziraphale scoffed as Crowley gripped his hips and sank into his body. His head dropped back down to his arms with a groan as Crowley made a few long, gentle strokes into him. Crowley ran his palms over Aziraphale's back, loving the soft, perfect feel of him. He gripped his hips again and snapped his hips forward. He set a quick and deep pace, driving strongly into his lover. Aziraphale's voice was audible over the slaps of their flesh together. Crowley reached forward, grabbing Aziraphale's hand and leading it to grip himself. Aziraphale didn't need to be told twice, and he began stroking himself quickly. Their moans and whines reached a fever pitch, and they gasped and breathed each other's names as they reached orgasm. They stumbled back to the sofa and collapsed. Aziraphale's head cushioned on Crowley's thighs as the demon combed his fingers through his soft curls. "Well, I hope you learned your lesson, Angel. Do you have anything to say for yourself?" Aziraphale's clear blue eyes looked up at Crowley and blinked, a soft smile curving his lips. He nodded. "Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?" Again, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this next one is called Angels Don't Swear Unless Being Discorporated. Crowley and Aziraphale's first time together is all about discovering each other's sexy time quirks. Crowley couldn't believe it. Finally, after 6,000 years of pining, a few years dancing around each other, one failed Armageddon, and 4 months of dating and heated making out, finally, Aziraphale was in his bed. "Fuck, you feel good, Angel." Crowley gripped Aziraphale's hips tighter, thrusting into him. "So fucking good." "Ah, thank you, my dear. You feel simply amazing." Aziraphale was bent, propped on pillows, half lost in starting to kick. Aziraphale was bent, propped on pillows, half lost in ecstasy, his breath hitching between words as his lover pushed into him. "Truly tip-top." Crowley slowed for half a second, processing the term tip-top as it pertained to what they were doing, before mentally shrugging and getting back to work. He lost himself in the feel of the angel's skin, the sounds he was making, the words. "Goodness gracious, my dear. You're smashing." Aziraphale gasped at a particularly deep stroke. "You want smashing? Oh, I can smash, Angel." The demon gripped Aziraphale's shoulder for extra leverage as he snapped his hips into his lover. "Fuck. Damn, your arse is so good." Aziraphale dropped from his hands to his elbows under Crowley's barrage. He breathed out a whisper. "Not what I meant, but good heavens, I'm not complaining. Good golly gumdrops." Crowley stilled, his cock deep, his hips flush against Aziraphale's plush curves. Questions flew through his mind, and he breathed a small chuckle before beginning to move again. Slow, deep strokes, drawing out as many different sounds as possible. He tried a new angle, aiming to find the angel's prostate. "Oh, that is jolly good, my dear." "Oh, great googly moogly." Is it bad form to laugh at your own jokes? "Oh, great googly moogly." He groaned deep and long as Crowley found that bundle of nerves. He let out a small whine when Crowley paused again. Did you just say great googly moogly?" The demon started moving even slower, directly dragging his cock against his prostate. "I believe so, my dear. I hardly know what I'm saying." "Good Lord, this is amazing." The angel thrust back, meeting Crowley's movements. "I was a gavoting fool to not having this with you before." "You mean fucking instead of dancing?" "Yeah, that would have been better." Crowley thought back to his own disastrous dancing moves. He chuckled low again, giving a grinding swivel. "I much prefer these moves to disco." Aziraphale let out a breathy laugh, building pressure at the base of his spine. It was creating sparks behind his eyeballs, and instinctively he reached down to grasp his cock and caress himself. Crowley noticed and began driving strongly into Aziraphale's body, making sure to stay on that magic bundle. "Oh my. Oh, Crowley. Oh, this feels... Oh, this is absolutely tickety-boo!" Crowley couldn't hold it in anymore. He started laughing. The overload of sensations pulled him into his own climax. The feeling of Aziraphale's clenching around him, grasping his smooth skin, the flexing of his own muscles from laughing, hearing the joy in Aziraphale's voice, his gasps and moans. Crowley would never have guessed how amazing a laughter-filled orgasm could feel. He draped himself over Aziraphale's back, kissing his neck and shoulders, still chuckling. "You should have warned me, Angel." He slid to the side, pulling the angel in to kiss his lips. "Warned you? And why were you laughing?" "You have quite a mouth on you. You should have warned me about that." Crowley wrapped his arms around Aziraphale, tangling their legs together. Aziraphale giggled. "Angels don't swear, love." "I know you can swear. Shadwell told me so." "Well, I suppose we can, but only in extreme circumstances." "Getting your brains fucked out by your demon lover isn't an extreme circumstance." Aziraphale grinned, trying to look disapproving of Crowley's phrasing. "I think that actual discorporation ranks above les petits morts on the extreme scale, don't you?" "Maybe. Guess I'll have to try harder next time." That one just makes me laugh. Just tickety boo. It's almost worth, if I ever have sex again, it's almost worth trying just to see what happens. So there are 3 humor porn fics for you from Le Mind de Quefish. I don't know if it's worth any better that I read them myself. Probably not. So, I'm only about a little under half done. So, I still have plenty more to read.